Welcome back, everyone. I am the MoeChicken, and we are back with more Radical Dreamers. The last episode, we completed the good ending by not being a douchebag to Kid, and we saw lots of fish in space-time, and it was all very significant. But now we are going for our first of the extra endings. Now, to explain a little bit how this is going to work, there's probably going to be a lot of editing in this. Sorry, Ed. Because there is redundancy. A lot of this you've seen already. And I don't want to make you sit through the whole thing. So, mostly I'm just going to keep in the parts that are unique to the extra endings. And the way the extra endings are kind of accessed is a little unusual. Here, this is the first instance. Right up front, if you remember, this is different from what we saw the first time. And so there are a couple of extra choices that allow you to branch the storyline in different directions and find the other endings. So, let's get started. However, while walking behind Kid, I can't help but notice her ponytail swishing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm starting to get sleepy. So sleepy. Sleep. See, first effort, fall asleep. That's the first thing you're supposed to do to get the other ending. Serge. Serge! Huh? Snap out of it, you lazy bones. What? Looking up, the tall, shadowy mansion of Lord Lynx looms before me. I can't believe we're there already. I must have been really out of it. The hell are you daydreaming about, mate? Let's go, Kid says, disappearing into the mansion. Hey, wait up, Kid, I shout, frantically chasing after her. However, she's already deep inside. The darkness engulfs me. It's all like... Passages extend to the left and right. Wherever we turn, darkness awaits. So, which way do we go now? I asked, wiping the chilly sweat from my forehead. What was that? I could have sworn I saw a faint light illumining the hallway just then. Probably just the moonlight shining in through a skylight, I tell myself. However, looking up at the ceiling, no such skylight can be found. Hey, Serge, what are you staring at? We got a job to do here. I look down the hallway only to see Kid, who's already barely visible down the long corridor. There's another one. If you look at that light, that's a different ending. We're not going for that one right now. After a while, this path splits into three directions. Left is a descending staircase, while the path on the right extends into darkness. The passageway lies ahead. So we're going down the stairs. If I remember correctly, all we're supposed to do to get this one is actually just go to Riddell's room. So we're just going to go to Riddell's room. So, which is nearby, so I'm probably not going to cut this. We're going through the passage on the right, towards Riddell's room. There they are. Ta-da! Nope. Enter the room. We come to a comfortably decorated room. Small trinkets have been placed on the desk and shelves, adding some charm. The owner of this room has obviously gone to great lengths to try to bring a somewhat graceful lifestyle to this otherwise dark mansion. Still, the room seems to carry an unsettling stillness with it. I bet it's Lynx's daughter's room, Kid says, surveying some of the items. The letter on the desk and the warm teacup hint of a woman living here. However, after searching the room, no one is found. We find her various odds and ends. Beautifully arranged set of flowers, a white handkerchief carelessly tossed aside, a small bottle of perfume, and so on. Although this stuff adds atmosphere to the room, none of it is really worth anything to us. Kid also seems to feel this way, disregarding most of the stuff in here. She picks up a small box decorated with a serpentine coat of arms. However, unlike the rest of the items in here, it looks like it's of little worth to us. What should I do now? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Pause. Unpause. I went to the wrong place. I was supposed to go to the study first. Okay, well, since we didn't see it before and I mentioned in the last episode, I will show you this. Ask Kid to open small box. As Kid slowly opens the box, a comforting melody fills the air. There you go. Oh, it's song, Kid suddenly says, standing up beside me. I look over to her, seeing her expression has changed to vulnerable curiosity, chasing a long-lost memory. You know this song, Kid? Yeah. A long time ago, someone I knew used to sing it to me. She turns away from me, rubbing her eyes. The time paradox is thick in the air, and it's gotten inside her eyes. Kid? I say softly, putting my hand on her shoulder. After a moment or two, she looks back at me. Tears are running down her cheeks. Without saying a word, Kid walked quickly to the door. Hey, wait up, Kid, I say, chasing after her. See, it's like... It's a lovely scene. It's a great scene. But... it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make any sense, because if he wrote the song, unless he's really just supposed to be like twice her age or something, you know, otherwise it just doesn't make any sense. No sense. All right, so apparently what I was supposed to do, I've got a little like guide here for these because I've done them all before, but they're kind of nitpicky and I don't want to waste y'all's time. We were supposed to go to the study. I want to go. That's way. Yeah. We're supposed to go to the study and look inside the desk, which I believe is where we find the picture of Riddell. So I think that's how we were supposed to do that, and then what I just did. So I hope I didn't ruin it already. If I did, you'll never hear this recording because we'll just do another one. But hopefully I didn't ruin everything. Right? Examine the desk. Check out that desk. Yep. Yay! Is he a pedophile for having, like, a daughter? Oh, a faint gasp behind me suddenly catches my attention. Turning around, I see Magil walking over to us with his eyes fixed firmly on the picture. I don't think I've ever seen him like this before. What is it, Magil? My question visibly startles Magil, but after a few moments he returns to his usual wooden face. Nothing. His firm response doesn't leave much room for questioning. Oh, we're wasting valuable time. We should look elsewhere, Magil says abruptly, turning towards the door. Kid and I look at each other, perplexed. What's his problem? Don't ask me. Hey, Magil, wait up! Alright, so now we're supposed to go back down to Riddell's room. This is actually one of the easiest ones to get, and I already messed it up. Super good! Hopefully it wasn't too messed up that we can't still get it. The moist feeling of these grimy stone walls as you walk backwards down the steps. Doesn't make any sense. Why are you walking backwards down the steps, Serge? What's wrong with you? Right. Yeah. Now we go back. Now that Magil has seen Riddell's face and gasped audibly. He was like, oh! Into the room. Let's go in. Yeah. Is someone there? A woman's voice asks all of a sudden. Kid and I instantly hide behind a closet. What? How do you hide behind a closet? It's in the wall. Ready for anything. Somehow we mesh ourselves into the wall and get behind the closet. A fair girl comes into view from out of a dark corner. It must have been in my imagination, she says, apparently not yet aware of us. I remain perfectly still while holding my breath, wondering what to do next. Then, all of a sudden, a shadow over by the desk begins to tremble. Magil! He suddenly materializes? Ooh, placing himself directly across from the girl. She's overcome with shock seeing this. In desperation, all she can muster is out the words, What do you want? Weird thieves, but, because of the invitation in the newspaper? Yeah, let's go with that. Oh, you're just in time, she replies without question, nervously playing along with my lie. Kid suddenly jabs me in the side. Why do you always have to be telling these clumsy lies? Staring at the two of us, she backs away in fright. Who are you people? She asks, unable to mask her increasing fear. Magil steps in and speaks in a comforting tone. I apologize on behalf of my party if we startled you. We intend you no harm, milady. Despite his persuasiveness and his sudden fedora, the girl seems to remain unconvinced and starts to panic. Stop! Thieves! Don't come in closer! This is hopeless. Neither of these is really good. Tie her up and gag her! I move her to the bed and start to pull off the sheets. Kid comes over to help, despite her crippling fear of beds, saying, What do you say we just toss her in the dresser? not the bed. I don't want to get into the bed. Magil approaches us and grabs the sheets out of our hands before we can make our move. With a look of pity in his eyes, he looks back towards the girl. She seems shocked at this turn of events, to say the least, not knowing what to think. Sorry, Magil, I was only trying to do what was best, I say, ashamed. However, before Magil can respond, the girl takes a breath and turns to us to speak. Magil? You're Magil? Did you once go by the name Gilbert? Hearing that name, Magil takes on a look of shock. Riddell, is that you? He says in a surprisingly vulnerable tone. Gilbert, it's really you, my dear, dear Gilbert, she says, taking his hand. Gilbert? That's it. I have worried about you ever so much, he says in a deeply sentimental voice. Kid, suddenly tinged with anxiety, interrupts the two. Hey, lovebird, we're here for the Frozen Flame, not damsels in distress, remember? The Frozen Flame? Asks Riddell, bewildered. Ah, yes. These are my companions, Magil says in his usual dry tone a moment later. Kid and I glance at each other. This evening is a blessing bequeathed to us by that shimmering red jewel's fate, Magil says to Riddell. Oh, brother. All this girl stuff is starting to unravel him. Kid's starting to get agitated, however. I've got a feeling there are a few things that could keep her from getting the Frozen Flame tonight. None of them wear high heels. Despite her increasing impatience with the situation, Magil goes on. And on. Ever since my childhood, I have thought of you. My heart has yearned ever so madly, only for you. Oh, Gilbert. It is true, my dear Riddell. Therefore, about the promise. Suddenly, Riddell turns away from Magil. Promise? She asks in a voice so quiet, it's almost inaudible. Yes, my dear. Surely you haven't forgotten our secret promise. The one we made to each other on that beautiful day in the garden. You have not forgotten the vows of marriage we bestowed on one another. Have you? Riddell continues to avert her eyes from Form Magil. Form Magil! Form of Magil! I will hear no more of this childish nonsense, she shouts, burying her head in her hands once again. Ask if there is any interest at all left in her. You do not want me? Magil asks in a trembling voice. Magil, this is all so sudden, to meet like this. So our promise was meaningless? Despite Magil's logic, he's overshadowed by Riddell's bitter tone. There are some things in our past that I will not forget, Gilbert. Once you were given some delicious-looking homemade cookies for your 5th birthday, but you would not share them with anyone. And another time, at one of the village festivals, I remember wanting to dance with you, but you never asked me to. I waited all night. Why does she still hold grudges for silly things that happened a long time ago? It is all a misunderstanding, Riddell. I wanted to ask you to dance, but I did not have the confidence. Also, those cookies were nummy, Magil frantically explains. And you suddenly appear, hoping to fix everything with a mere apology. But Riddell counters, despite the glistening tears beginning to form on her long eyelashes. Bollocks, mate. You sure got yourself in a tight spot here with all this marriage talk, Kid adds, supporting Riddell. Yes, but Yes, but I believe you, Magil. Riddell says softly, starting to smile as she wipes her tears. Kid scowls, mostly. I'm staying out of this, I say to myself. I got enough problems with my own love life. I mean, when I did badly with it, I literally got choked to death by a strange catman. So, yeah, I mean, it's just not worth it. But then, suddenly, another voice echoes out, entering in through the doorway. Mistress Riddell, you will remember to mind your manners around our guest, won't you? Who's this? Oh, Noelle, you know how I dislike it when you call me mistress, Riddell exclaims. She continues, slightly embarrassed. This is Gilbert, Noelle. Surely you remember him from long ago when I was but a child. After a while, it dawns on the elderly woman that she once knew this man, and an expression of recognition comes over her face. Oh, yes, Master Gilbert. All grown up, I see. And what a fine gentleman you turned out to be. Oh, now we're never getting out of this, Kid says, sitting down on a couch with her head in her hands. Could this still be a trap, I wonder? Let's let Magil do what he thinks is best, Kid. Stoop down to where Kid's sitting and whisper, Magil's got more experience than us. I think we should let him handle this. Kid goes utterly numb. The maid notices us whispering to each other and takes a step backwards. Well, who is this young lady?
These two are my business associates,
Magil says, offering a simple introduction, just like Esmeld. I see. Since Master Gilbert says so, I will extend my welcome to you. I am Lady Riddell's personal servant. My name is Noel. Nice to meet you. Sure, nice to meet you. Oy, oy. I have known Master Gilbert ever since he was a wee lad. She goes on, telling us about various things from their past. It seems like they've had quite an illustrious upbringing. Also, Master Gilbert and Lady Riddell often shared each one of those companies, stealing each other's eyes. However, one day he was whisked far away. Could this get any more exciting? Kid asks. Noelle and Kid exchange looks, but she continues momentarily after recomposing herself. Once, in a secret meeting at their favorite flower garden, an oath was made between the two. In that beautiful courtyard, future prospects were indeed planned upon. Oh, wonderful. Too many British voices. I'm not good at doing all these British girl voices. However, the maid's eyes darken as she continues. But as everyone knew, Lady Riddell had already been assigned a suitor. Riddell's shoulders sink upon hearing this. Noelle, why did you have to mention that? Now our oath is void! Magil's eyes shimmer in the dim light. Through all this, Kid has been pushed just about to her limit. Unable to remain obedient any longer, she stands up, eyes flaring. Kid leaps out ahead of Magil, confronting the two. Listen up! I'm the great thief Kid! She's become the maid accidentally. And we're here tonight in this mansion but she's broken off by the maid. How dare you, you rude young lady! Surely you know better than to act in such a way before the lady of the house. Ha! You got something coming to you, old wench! Kid snarls something. Magil quickly comes between the two, first addressing the maid. Please do not worry. I have never shown any malice towards you or Riddell, nor have I ever meant any harm, and I will not allow any to happen in the future. Please accept my apologies on my accomplice's behalf. He just kind of like he does that thing where he puts his palm on Kid's face and just kind of slowly pushes her out of frame. Master Gilbert, thank you for pushing her out of frame. Continue on. He turns towards Kid. Perhaps it would be best if we left. Huh? Kid and Noelle exchange glances. Then, at the same time, I'm also still here, just to say. One single idea seems to pop into both Noelle's and Kid's minds. What in places are you thinking? Running off with Noelle? Running off with the maid? Running off with Riddell? Kid yells. At the very same moment, Noelle shouts, "What in the world, my lady? How could you think of elopement at a time like this?" Magil's mouth drops wide open. "No, that is not what I meant." But it's useless. The yelling resumes, louder than ever, hopelessly drowning out Magil's reasoning. "What kind of gentleman do you think you are? Honestly, thinking of eloping without telling a single soul," Noelle ensues, before stomping out of the room in a rage. "Damn it, we gotta think about the frozen flame here," Kid shouts, tugging on Magil's shirt. Riddell doesn't seem to be very happy either, having once again regressed into tears. This whole scene is just falling apart. Magil's vow of love seems to be on its last leg. I'm starting to wonder if there's any hope for this situation at all anymore. In any case, Riddell can't possibly want to be burdened with all this torment. If I could just talk her down out of all this commotion, it might be alright. If only I had more options. So, this is a little funny thing. If only I had more options. It wouldn't be a bad life living with him. He's a good guy. You want to escape this terrible mansion, don't you? I push down one more time. There's another option. Oh, wait, no, this is the music test. Oops, right, this is the music test. Y'all want to check out the music test? Yeah, it's the music test. Oops, I didn't mean that. Sorry, let's go back to the episode. That's where the music test is, though, if you ever wanted to find it. I actually don't know if that was added by the translators or if that was in the original game. It wouldn't be a bad life living with him. He's a good guy. A good thief, perhaps. Everyone I know would be ashamed to talk of us. Riddell whimpers. What you got against thieves now? Ain't nothing wrong with being a thief. It's an honorable draw, ain't it, Magil?
If Riddell wishes it, I will hereby end my career as a pilferer. Therefore
Magil? Kid and I are floored. This girl must really, really be something. Magil's presented a good case, but I just don't know if Riddell's swallowing it all. Suddenly, alarms blare out all around us. Damn that bloody maid! What do we do now? Flustered, I look to Magil.
We must be on our way, he says.
Riddell nods after a moment. Indeed, it's best for you to leave tonight, she says. In time, perhaps you may return. Then I might be able to look upon you as a friend.
A friend!
A friend! Oh! Hearing that word in terms of their relationship seems to strike through Magil's heart like a searing hot knife.
No! I will not leave here without you! He yells suddenly. Riddell, please! I beg you, come with me now!
Footsteps can be heard from down the hallway. The guards are coming for us. Quickly! Magil lightly picks Riddell up, putting her over his shoulder as he makes for the door. They're getting closer, Kid says, peeking around the corner.
With his cape gallantly fluttering behind him, Magil bolts down the hallway.
Whoa, look at him go! Come on, they're right behind us! Oh no, there they are! Right there! Ha! Like a hurricane, Magil effortlessly rams one of the guards into the wall while I knock the other senseless. Something else happened. I was too fast for me to read it. We made it out with our treasure, or rather with Magil's treasure and none of our treasure. At last we've slipped out of the huge mansion. I'm utterly exhausted. I gasp huge breaths as I stumble down into a nearby grassy clearing deep in the woods. But suddenly, thunderous booms start to echo out from far behind us. It's very pink, I guess. And blue. Pink and blue. And green. What's this? Looking up into the open nighttime sky, fireworks of all colors adorn the starry evening. I stare upwards, dumbfounded. What's going on? Kid asks. Then, through the trees, I look up at the mansion, and all my questions are answered. There we see all the occupants of Viper Manor, waving and cheering for us. Long live Mistress Riddell! Hip hip hooray! Good luck! We'll all be over for brunch once you're settled. Then Kid nudges me, pointing to the rooftop, and there Lord Lig sits solemnly with a tear in his eye, not pictured, waving to us. The father of the bride. Riddell lifts her head up to speak, briefly pausing from her joyful sobs. All this fuss, all this fighting.
It is I who should be apologizing, my lady, Magil says, putting his forehead to hers, wiping her cheek with his handkerchief.
Oh, Gilbert, it's the same old you, she says, sighing. Also, Kid and I are here. Just saying, we're also present. From far across the landscape, a deep, shimmering light begins to fill the sky.
Look, Riddell. There's our frozen flame,
Magil says, pointing towards the morning sun. Kid barfs in the corner. Magil, caught between love and adventure. The end. That was the first extra ending. It's very dumb, but funny. It's very funny. It was a lot of fun to voice act. And every ending ends with this, which is kind of cool. The idea is that, like, remember how in the first ending, they mentioned that a different band of adventurers did all this? I think these are supposed to be different, like, dimensions. Kind of like what Chrono Cross did, where they had, like, separate dimensions rather than time. So I think that's the idea here. And so the curtain closes on something with Riddell and Noelle. In another place and another time, a similar band of adventurers had come forth, equally unsuspecting of their other selves, and life went on as they strode out into the great unknown. But that's a story for another day. For now, I shall put down my pen. And then once again, my mom calls me because apparently I just keep forgetting that my friend is downstairs. And she runs up and she's all like, hey, you want to go hang out with some foxes in a forest? I think it sounds cool, right? And she's like, why were you named after your grandfather? That's a weird name. And I'm like, yeah, well, your name's Kid or whatever. And that's our relationship. Alright. Well, we got through another ending. Is this the one that... I think there's at least one ending where Magil's not there because he's off romancing. Is this the one? No, he's here. Their relationship didn't work out very well, so he just kind of kept on hanging around with us. Good old Gilbert's back there. He doesn't flow in the wind like we do. All right, well, that was our second ending. Almost, like, well, not all of them. Several of the extra endings are funny like that, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back for the next one. I'm the MoeChicken, this is Radical Dreamers, and thanks for stopping by.